Hello there, people! Sorry about it if you just were watching the previous stream, but my game froze. So I'm going to try this again and make sure it's running on one CPU core because that's usually when that freezing occurs. I'm surprised at that because I thought I had, prior to recording, changed the CPU number, but I'm going to assume that was the issue and try this again. Anyway, to basically try and state all this quickly again, um, this is the demo playthrough. You would be expecting that I just finished up with Return to Haunted Cathedral and be moving on. However, today my headphones have been used quite a bit. I'm assuming it's going to die soon. So I don't want something that serious. But I did also want to do a demo playthrough because it's part of Thief, it's part of Thief's history, something that I want to check out. It's very easy to access, so it's not like I have to go out and buy a whole new version of Thief. Instead, it's just a quickly play through it, download it off the computer and play it. So, with that in mind, I'm going to be able to play through this and check it all out and show it off. It's going to it's going to be made in the idea that you have seen all these videos or whatnot, so I'm not going to be explaining to you what things are that are in the final version of the game. It's almost the idea that you have seen the original game, but you want to go back and check out the demo. Most likely, if you're going to check out a video, it's usually going to be for the full version of the game. So I don't expect many people to try and check out the demo playthrough. So if you do, I guess just stick along for the ride, or if you want a real good explanation, check out my Keeper's Training and Lloyd Bafford's Manor, which is basically the full versions of these levels, and will be a much, much better direction-based one. It explains things a lot clearer, more concise, and gives a great narrative for the introductory portions of the game. And here there is some things that won't be even talked about in those two missions just because of how things work. But we'll get to that when we get to that. First things first, we are going to have to start up the game, and hopefully this time it won't freeze on me. That was just a bit of bad luck. Oh yeah, the other thing I want to talk about that I couldn't talk about because of my stream freeze and whatnot. This is now going to become my main medium for Thief-based playthroughs. I know before, with my Deathstalker Deceased channel and all that, that was my main way of doing it back then. And it still probably will be in the future. But for this period of time, for an unknown amount of time, I'm going to be doing it only in the stream version. Now, why is that, you may ask? Well, my computer is having some problems with DirectDraw. Specifically, NVIDIA's drivers are having a problem with DirectDraw. And the problem isn't something that's going to prevent me from seeing it, but from you from seeing it. Now, that was already a problem always with recording, aka streaming, regular video recording. But with the DirectDraw way, what I could always do was take screenshots and then input them into the video later. That is not the case right now. One of the newest drivers, and this has actually been something that's been going on with NVIDIA in the past, they will release versions that where the screenshots just do not work. All you will get is a black screen. So it makes it you have to be very conscious of updating your NVIDIA drivers. In fact, it makes you very paranoid of updating them. And normally you probably shouldn't be updating them. But I did. I wasn't thinking at the time, and the problem is I happen not to know what version was the last good version that had functional drivers. So that makes things kind of awkward, because now I have to almost follow the cycle of NVIDIA drivers. Whenever they get released, I'm going to update it, and hope that one of the upcoming versions will fix this DirectDraw glitch again. It has had this problem in the past and has been fixed at a later time. So I'm hoping this is going to be a similar issue where at some point in the future, who knows if it's going to be a week, a month, year, who knows. I was hoping to get to my DirectDraw way, but it seems not fated to be. Instead, because A, I don't want to stop my thief streams, my thief playthroughs and whatnot, and B, I don't want to stop my thief streams because, the other one's not working. So I'm going to make this my primary way, since we cannot really do it in Deathstalker anymore, at least for the time being. When Deathstalker gets functional again, what I'm most likely going to do is go back, do all these again, and do them in a nice, clean fashion, do them with all post-processing editing and whatnot, most likely. If I'm lazy, who knows, I might not, but I'm assuming most likely, due to how I am, due to how I usually do things, I'm most likely going to go back and fix it up. So, no promises there, but I believe most likely I will. And this means that for the time being, until this issue it comes back, that you're going to, if you want to check out my latest videos or whatnot, you're going to have to put up with this way if you want to watch them, sadly. Why am I doing it this way and not doing it Deathstalker? Because both are basically at this time basically in the same shell where you can't see anything besides the actual game. Well, the difference is that in a stream, I'm able to continue recording even when there's nothing going on. Like right now, I'm able to record even though the screen is black, there's nothing going on, and I'm just able to sit here and blab to you and say whatever needs to be said. That is very convenient to me because that means when I'm in the middle of a start of a mission or something, I can read out what it says, which you guys do not really need to see what the text says anyway. All I usually do is end up explaining what the text is and what the objective text would say to us. So it's not that big of a deal in my opinion. It's not that I don't really need to spend that much time going over, stuff that you wouldn't be able to see anyway. Like I said, honestly, as far as I know, these demos, nothing has changed map-wise or anything like that. So the only thing really changed that you can't see is the little minor textural changes, which I will mention, I will describe. So in that regard, I'm sorry that you can't see that before you could. But I just have to do what I can do right now. So for now, my Deathstalker Deceased channel shall remain deceased. And my other channel shall remain active, putting out all these different stream videos. And this, like I said, will be my main way of doing it until we finally get around to finally getting a functional screenshotter. Anyway, I've been talking for 8 minutes. I'd like to actually start the mission soon, because who knows, this might freeze up again and I have to do the stream once more. Because these older versions of Thief have a tendency to have more complications when it comes to multiple CPU drives. Thief Gold or whatnot is more compatible with Garrett Loader. These older versions, not so much. I have to do it all manually, which means it can be a bit more unstable sometimes. So I'm going to start the game as per usual. And I'm going to change my CPU's affinity to 1. So that way, hopefully, we won't experience crashes. Now, all that in mind, let's actually start the intro! Not supported in the demo version of Thief. That's your first difference right there. There's no cutscenes in this version. That is not going to be a glitch due to the problems with the codec or anything like that. No, in this version, there is no such thing as cutscenes. And for the introduction and the credits, it'll say not supported in the demo version of Thief. For the other cutscenes, you'll just skip right over them, and it'll be like just if you had your codec missing. So if you guys, most likely if you played Thief, you know exactly what that feels like when all of a sudden the cutscenes stop working at some point. And that's exactly what it's going to be looking like here. But the whole idea behind it is the fact that there's just no cutscenes to begin with. Now, I've already set up my user binds so that way it's properly set up. The way I did that is I just went down to my Thief Gold, went to my user bind, copied and pasted it into this one. and it basically allowed everything to be transferred right over, which means I get my nice WASD setup. I get, my ability to lean forward with a much nicer, convenient key. So it makes things a lot easier for me, basically. All that in mind, I believe everything should be at top-notch quality. Alright, so what we're going to do now is start the training, because this one has the training in Lord Bafford's manner. Okay, Keeper's training. Follow the directions of the instructor in order to pass the training tests. As I stated before, we're not going to go into too much explanation on everything. That's going to be reserved for those 2 videos that I've already created for my stream. This is basically just a redundant, if you will, playthrough of the demo, just to show off what the demo's like. So, yeah. Just showing off the differences and whatnot.
Welcome, young Garrett. In the nearby rooms, I will instruct you in the various skills you will need to survive. Please stay in the entrance area to each room while I explain the room's purpose. When you are ready to begin your lessons, proceed down this hallway to the first room.
So, let me check my stream, make sure I'm actually recording this. As I see here, it's a black thing. Oh, that's because I have it here. I want to actually have it in this window so that way I can see that I am indeed recording. Alright. Now, I believe if I rely on OBS just to say that that's recording, everything should be functional. I'm not going to check the Twitch way, probably do the laziness or whatnot, but this time around I just want to make it smooth, clean, whatnot. It's a small enough video or whatnot that I'm going to be able to redo it if need be, if it turns out the whole thing was black. Unlike my normal ones, which are like 2 hours or so, and I would get paranoid about that, which is why in those, I always check and make sure definitely. In this one, I'm going to rely more on what OBS tells me.
You must learn how to move unseen. Stay in the shadows. Avoid the light. The indicator on your screen will tell you how visible you are. Try to reach the top of the platform without being seen.
Oh, what? You were talking to me? You didn't even tell me how to use WASD keys! Oh, look at me, I'm a freaking master in the darkness.
Well done. I did not see you approach.
Open this door to continue. When the door is near the center of your screen, it will light up, indicating that it is selected. To manipulate selected doors and other objects, use them.
Alright, so we'll use this.
Good. Proceed down this corridor for your next test.
And around here, of course, as always, we'll get the map or whatever. There we are. You'll hit the map, and the map will look exactly the same as the final version. In fact, basically, to summarize, a Keeper's training is almost exactly like the previous version. Also looks exactly the same. However, there is one minor difference, which is the reason why I'm replaying this. So I'll show that off when we get to it.
Now you must learn to move quietly. Some surfaces are louder than others when walked upon, and moving quickly makes more noise than moving slowly. Listen to your own footsteps to hear how much noise you are making. The instructor will have his back turned. You must get to the top of the platform without being heard.
Right, so let's get across.
Very good. I did not hear you traverse the room.
Beyond this door is a hallway that will lead you to your next task.
Also, if you notice, we had to go a little bit up this corridor before that gate closed. In the Thief Gold version, you walk right past that gate, it will start closing on you. And if you notice, that actually causes us to sometimes to get stuck in the gate or whatnot if we glitch around with it. This one, it waits for you. It's very interesting that they changed that.
Now get your weapons. To pick up objects, select them by centering them on screen until they light up. Then use them. Choose your weapon now. Try readying your sword, and then your bow. You can always put them away again if you need your hands free. Now let's go out to the courtyard for some target practice. Ready your bow. Knock an arrow and draw back the string by holding down the attack button. Make sure you draw all the way back, or your shot will not have full power. Take aim, and when you are ready to shoot, release your attack. See if you can hit one of these targets.
How's 3?
Good shot. Keep practicing if you wish. When you are ready to proceed, approach the training dummy and ready your sword. Swing at the target with the attack button. A quick tap will give you a slash. Move the tip of your sword to the left of the target for a left slash, and to the right of the target for a right slash. Hold the attack button down, then release for an overhead swing. Try both slashes and the overhead swing on the practice dummy.
Now, one thing about the practice dummy, if you may notice in this version, is a lot more noticeable when he highlights. In the Thief Gold version, I've noticed this from time to time, it will highlight, but I tend not to notice it as much as in this version. This version, when I walk right over it, it highlights every single time, and it's quite visible. It's like in the Thief Gold version, they added something that'll prevent its highlighting it sometimes, and sometimes it'll leak through, but most of the time it will work. This time around, it always doesn't work. So, you're able to basically highlight it no matter what. Very interesting, that minor difference. But we have one more to show you.
Good job. You're ready for a live opponent. To practice against your partner, enter the cobbled sparring area. Attack him with your sword, not your bow.
This all looks very familiar now, doesn't it? In the sky above. Very cloudy day.
Well done. Keep sparring if you wish. When you are done, leave the sparring area. That's enough sparring for today. Please walk over to the table. Would you care for some refreshment before we move on, young Garrett? Please pick up all of the items on this table. Cycle through your inventory to see the objects you have in your pockets. Once an object is displayed, you may use it. Have something to eat if you wish. Then you may proceed. The next test is waiting on the other side of the metal door.
Right, so we'll go back there in a second. I just want to show a basket. There we are. We shall read this bedroll. And the quote list seems the same as the final version. We shall leave that alone otherwise. Wait a minute! Look at this! We're locked in here! Yes, folks, that's the biggest difference of this level. You can become locked in the quote scroll area and be unable to finish the mission. A pretty sad day in the lives of all thieves everywhere. You cannot complete the mission now. We have failed the trading mission! Look at us! We can't even complete the trading mission because we found the Easter egg. But yeah, this basically is a weird punishment system for the Easter egg. This is not something that's exclusive to the demo. It was also found in like the unpatched versions of Thief. I think like the version 1.33 or so fits that. So yeah, as this was 1.2 or so, that's one of the things apparently they did not fit between versions. Some changes have become apparent of stuff that they have changed from the original unpatched version. But there, is still things, oddly enough, they got rid of some of the architecture in this level or whatnot from the unpatched version. While in the same hand, they didn't fix the stuff that they later fixed in the patch version. So very interesting. So yeah, we can't complete the mission. We failed in our goal. Okay, so now we're just going to bang through this even faster.
Welcome, young
Just to
Garrett.
finish this mission.
In the nearby rooms, I will instruct you in the various skills you will need to survive. Please stay in the entrance area to each room while I explain the room's purpose. When you are ready to begin your lessons, proceed down this hallway to the first room. You must learn how to move unseen. Stay in the shadows. Avoid the light.
There, lad.
The indicator on your screen will tell you how visible you are. Try to reach the top of the platform without being seen. Try again. Remember, stay out of the well-lit areas until you reach the platform.
See you approach.
Open this door to continue. When the door is near the center of your screen, it will light up, indicating that it is selected. to manipulate selected doors and other objects.
Very good.
Use them. Now you must
did not hear
learn to
you
move
traverse the
quietly. Some surfaces are louder than others when walked upon, and moving quickly makes more noise than moving slowly. Listen to your own footsteps to hear how much noise you are making. The instructor will have his back turned. You must get to the top of the platform without being heard. Now get your weapons. To pick up objects, select them by centering them on screen until they light up. Then use them. Choose your weapon now. Try readying your sword, and then your bow. You can always put them away again if you need your hands free. Now let's go out to the courtyard for some target practice. Ready your bow. Knock an arrow and draw back the string by holding down the attack button. Make sure you draw all the way back, or your shot will not have full power. Take aim, and when you are ready to shoot, release your attack. See if you can hit one of these targets. Good.
That works!
Keep practicing if you wish. When you are ready to proceed, approach the training dummy and ready your sword. Swing at the target with the attack button. A quick tap will give you a slash. Move the tip of your sword to the left of the target for a left slash, and to the right of the target for a right slash. Hold the attack button down, then release for an overhead swing. Try both slashes and the overhead swing on the practice dummy. Good job. You're ready for a live opponent. To practice against your partner, enter the cobbled sparring area. Attack him with your sword, not your bow. Well done. Keep sparring if you wish. When you are done, leave the sparring area. That's enough sparring for today. Please walk over to the table. Would you care for some refreshment before we move on, young Gary? Please pick up all of the items on this table. Cycle through your inventory to see the objects you have in your pockets. Once an object is displayed, you may use it. Have something to eat if you wish. Then you may proceed. The next test is waiting on the other side of the metal door. The door is locked, but the key from the table will open it. To unlock the door, select the key in your inventory. Center the door on screen until it lights up. Then use the key on the door. Good. Now head down this hallway to get to your next test.
Right, so as you see, this is pretty much redundant at
Now
this
you will
point.
learn new movement skills. First, climb the rope by jumping onto it. Move while looking up or down to climb up or down the rope. Turn to change your facing. If you jump again, you will release the rope. Now climb the rope to get to the top of the platform. Well done. Run and jump across the gap to the other side of the stream. Looks like you got a bit wet, my boy. Make sure you jump while running to get over a gap of that size. Climb the rope again and make another attempt. Good jump. This obstacle is easy to climb if you know how. First,
He's still
move
talking
close to the
mentally.
wall. Next, jump to grab the edge of the wall and pull yourself up. Good job. I am most pleased with your progress. You have passed the last test for today. If you wish, you may stay to practice your climbing and jumping, or swimming, ducking, leaning, or
this.
crawling. When you are finished, you may return to your chambers by going through that red door. Farewell.
I found an interesting little corner over there between the two areas. Wow. That was wild. Glitching even more than ever. And we jump over here, jump all around this crazy little glitchy area. Whee! But yeah, even the glitch areas still exist in the demo. It's like I said, most of the levels exactly the same.
The keepers were training me to be one of them, but I found other uses for those skills.
Like throwing a rose bush at a door, apparently. Definitely one of my skills. And they reveal wood behind! And let's figure as much, they don't even show the object, level complete thing there. 4 minutes, 18 seconds. On with the real thing of our show, which is Lord Bafford's Manor. And this one is the one that has been changed around, and the main reason I'm actually doing this. It's nice to show off the few little minor differences of a keeper's training. Specifically, the whole getting locked behind and not be able to get out. The highlightable dummy or whatnot, and the gate that takes a little bit longer to lower. But beyond that, it's pretty much the exact same thing. Lord Bafford's Manor, on the other hand, was a bit changed around between versions, which I'll show off in a second. Break into Lord Bafford's Manor, find the prized silver scepter, and steal it. You start on the street next to a well shack. The well allows you access to the manor basement. Oh, this is not the objectives. This is actually like a little textual introduction of some kind. The well is guarded, but the guard is drunk and unlikely to bother you. There's another guard patrolling nearby. Neither guard will attack you unless you instigate any violence. To get into the shack, you'll need the key on the drunk guard's belt. Once inside, Make your way up to the second floor and steal the scepter. Using your map and compass will help. If any guards spot you inside the house, they'll attack you first and ask questions later. So, beyond that, now we skip past, that little textual introduction, and now we make it to the objectives thing, which really has the exact same things, the changing of the objectives between the 3 difficulties. Don't kill any of the servants that are harmless versus don't kill anyone while you do a job. Beyond that, really nothing of interest here. It's the exact same thing that we saw last time. And even the maps look exactly the same. I'm not recognizing any minor differences even. So, like I said, honestly with me, sometimes I might miss a difference. So that's one more reason that this is probably good, because maybe, who knows, maybe you guys will look at this and suddenly note a difference between the 2 versions I played. Be like, hey, wait a minute, this massive difference here, and he didn't even notice it. I must talk about it, I must describe it, this is one more thing we could point out. And that would be awesome. So, let's continue the mission and actually get to what we need to get to. The sword, a blackjack, we got 8 water arrows by default, and we got 36 broadhead arrows. If I'm correct, that's actually what we get in the original mission, is those 4 things. However, we also get a healing potion. I believe maybe we actually get a healing potion to start the mission before. Yeah, I believe those are the 5 items we get. 1 healing potion, 8 water arrows, 36 broadheads, a sword, and a blackjack. However, that's not all we get for our starting gear. We also get 12 rope arrows. 12 rope arrows! Now, if you remember the original, Thief Gold or whatever, you will remember that rope arrows were not introduced to the Bone Horde. So, yeah, this is pretty interesting that they threw in rope arrows in Lord Bafford's Manor, and we're not even ever to pay for them. They just happen to be included in our starting gear, 12 of them. So, a nice little extra convenient thing. We'll see maybe where that's actually useful as we play the mission. Also, interestingly enough, we have some different objects to buy. Beyond the 20 broadhead arrows, 4 water arrows, and 2 healing potions, which of course all still exists, we also have 4 moss arrows. And also 3 noisemaker arrows. Both of those were not introduced until the next mission, Cragscraft, as were the 2 speed potions. And here's probably the most interesting of them all, 1 gas mine. If you've been watching my playthrough, you'll know that the gas mine is one of the last things to be introduced in Thief. It doesn't even get, added into the items for sale area until about, Undercover, which was just the mission before the last one. If you were watching Return to Haunted Cathedral, being the last mission that I created a stream for. So yeah. It's very weird to see a gas mine when that's a very late game item. Even though that is most of our money. So, do we really want to buy something like that? I almost want to buy something that we don't normally buy just because it exists and I want to show off that it exists. So I'll buy a moss arrow, a noisemaker arrow. I wish I could buy a speed potion, but actually it's going to cost about... Wait, is my loot amount different? I think the loot in the final game isn't 850. I think it's 350. We were given 500 more loot than normal. That's interesting as well. We were given 850 loot, not 350. So... I shall take the gas mine, the moss arrow, and... why not 1 broadhead, water arrow and 1 broadhead. And I guess we'll start the game. Where you'll notice something right away. Look at where we are! We spawned right at the well house this time around.
How's it going?
Pretty good, you? They will not attack me unless I attack them directly, as shown before. And I have a gas mine, as you see in my inventory. And I also got... well, there's my 12 rope arrows. And there's my moss arrow. Just showing you I wasn't making it up. Believe it or not. Let's check out this little area, because why do we spawn at the well house? Well, for one, there's no sewer here. There's no sewer grating this time around. We do get this wall of the gateway here, but, well, as usual, it's locked. Put it back there. Mikey, take that key. I'll knock out the guard in a second, but here's one big difference. There's a wall blocking off where it would normally be the rest of the city. So, in the demo, you only get this little area by the well house. Interesting, so it's a small little corded area, except the entire city we get. Unless, of course, you go up by the front gate. Which we could, because we have extra gear to mess around with this time, apparently. So we just knocked out the patrolling guard, and we'll knock out the drunk guard. Alright, in we go! To the well house. What has changed between versions? Let us find out. This is as far as I made it, people, so this is, from this point forward, I have no idea what we're about to see. Let's see what's at the bottom of this well. What's been cut from the game in the demo version. What did they wait till the final version for us to know about? As you see, there is no spider cave. That area is completely missing. Interesting. So I guess we'll have to continue forward and see what there is to see actually get. Alright, looks like as usual. One thing I have noticed this time around, the current's a lot... maybe not. I thought for a minute the current was maybe stronger than before. I might be wrong about that. But it looked like it was pushing me along.
Inside at last.
Well, that wasn't actually that long of an outside area, Garrett. Inside at last. Only took me a few steps to get in here.
The sir could really beef up security some.
What do you mean? What's wrong with us?
Well, we're fine. But I've been thinking we should watch the outsides more.
That's stupid. People to worry about there on the inside.
No, then you catch them before they get inside, you taffer.
Oh!
We have this conversation still here, luckily. So interesting. The first conversation you ever hear in Thief is not the Bear Pits conversation. It's this conversation in here. Because, well, you can't hear the Bear Pits one in the demo. Very interesting if you want to get technical about it. Yeah, bring that up at parties. You'll attract everybody. Yeah, the first conversation Thief was not actually the Bear Pits. It's going by chronological order and the fact that this is the demo. Yes, see? This was the first conversation of Thief. This is what introduced most people. How dare you try and say the Bear Pits was the first? This was the first! This conversation about the sir needing to beef up security some. Is that little doorway still there? Yes it is. That entire room's still over there. Wonder if from this point forward if it's just going to be the same thing. If so, well... Thinks that I mostly did a redundant playthrough, but... Hey, at least now we were able to check it out. Say, we were able to see the demo. We'll find out what else is different. Got our flash bombs again. And the random apple as usual. To the servant quarters! We must find differences! It'd be interesting if all of a sudden there was some random total difference. Like all of a sudden it threw a hammer hunt at me. That'd be awesome. What the? There are no servants in here this time. Look at this, people. No servants. I don't remember these beds being like this either. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't recall all this. And there's no servants in here. Entirely empty.
Is someone?
There's a sleeper guy. Thankfully we could knock him out. But yeah, the other servants, the ones talking about the river being so low, aren't here.
And since I'm in here, I might as well pick up something for myself.
For spare loot in this mission. Oh, that's the same, luckily. Alright, so let's check out these corridors. Where all this leads. Seems like all this so far is the same. Which of course means that we will have to deal with the patrolling guard down... Oh, for a minute I thought the torch looked different. Maybe I was just on something. But yeah, no conversing servants. Problem is, I don't know if there's actually a guard that patrols in here. Just in blue wall there. What I'm going to have to do is go back and check out the other way. Eventually hope I blunder across the guards and deal with them. Hey, I do have a gas mine, something I didn't get to play with back in White Baffers initially. Didn't think it was cool enough to have one of those. But most likely it's going to be pretty much the same. It is still... interesting, if you just heard that, the cheese just sounded like I was eating an apple or whatever. Let's hear this off of bread. Will it sound different? No, everything has the same chewing sound. That's something that's different. Everything has the same food sound. Differences, we're finding them! Slowly but surely. Interesting weird differences. Cheese! It's actually apples! They lied to me! Lloyd Baffert's note to the servant, same exact note, really, it looks like. Did like a quick skim over. That means if there were any differences, we'll never know! It comes over here, but I don't want to come to the other side because I don't see any patrolling guards, so I'm going to go to the other side now because there was still those guards we have to deal with. Plus, we have to deal with Mr. Drunk Guard. If Mr. Drunk Guard even exists in this version. That's a good question. What exists in this version, what doesn't?
Hey, what was that? Just the wind, I guess.
Based on the sound of that carpet, it sounds like there is indeed 2 guards here.
Huh? What? Ah! That was your last chance!
And now we get the fun of using a gas mine! Why? Because I wanted to use this gas mine. It's just the awesome freedomness of using this. On guard! Guard! Let's do this. Aw. I should use that gas mine effectively. Oh, this is becoming very interesting very quickly. As I totally destroyed the mission just because I wanted to use that gas arrow. I could have been serious about it, but well, I didn't care. I've done this once, I'm too experienced. Now I must flub about and purposely mess up everything. So interesting, that Cedric note's still there. Yeah. I don't think they're going to notice anything different. Most likely not. It's gonna be crazy. Let's be ready as a greeting party for him. That way when he comes on and tries to murder me, I'll be ready and can bash him on his head. Plus, this is more of a run around like a maniac, goof around, find differences. Do. Only food healed me. And I knew dark, it doesn't. It's still tile. Aha! Cheater! Oh no, we're crippling ourselves because now we have to play without flash bombs or gas mines or anything. Why? Because, well, I showed how to be a disaster with that stuff. But now I shall show you how to get out of this mess, hopefully.
Is that you?
Wait, what the? Look at that! There's a sword guard right... Oh, no, 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 no. Luckily, we have a moss arrow! Something we did not have in the original game, which we can use to our advantage here. Suddenly, I'm very thankful for that moss arrow, because I will need it. This is how to play the demo, and not how to play the final game at all. But that's exactly the thing. We get the demo, we get some interesting playability things here that we never get to normally do. So, that's the whole point. Do stuff in ways we could never do before.
Hey, I think I saw something over here.
I'm interested in the fact that there's 2 guards there. That is different. That is a bit scary to me. Because there was never 2 guards inside the building before. They made it more serious this time around. Unless, of course, there's no guards outside. In which case, it could be a bit easier, because that means we use a moss arrow, hop across, we can get over there and deal with them. Oh, this one's totally doused. This wasn't doused in the final version. Interesting. Not that I don't appreciate it, game.
Hello? Is someone there?
Nobody's here. I get to use this hidey hole that's never existed before. Haha! One more thing I've been able to do. Unless, of course, he's gonna... See, this is something I could never do before. And that's the point of this playthrough. Do stuff I could never do in the final version. I'm going to have fun with this level. Just doing stuff purposely I could never do before. Being wasteful with resources, being completely careless, I know. But hey, I can afford it totally. Touch on these tapestries because of course we know about the secret one. And beyond that, we just want to touch all the tapestries to say we slashed them down. Oh, doesn't look any different. And of course we have this way. Which of course is where we would get that and be able to exit the level. We still need to find that 700 loot, which we're going to be missing a couple hundred because of the way this level's set up. Unless of course there is access to the sewers the other way. Who knows, maybe there's like an access out front. But otherwise we're going to be missing, you know, so much because the bracelet and that. Because we couldn't get in the spider chamber either. And that, of course, is something we could always do. What I need to do now... I'm really intrigued to take out those new guards down below. Unless those aren't actually new guards, then there's the... bear pit talkers. In which case I'll take them out anyway, because... I always take them out. Might as well take them on this version and see how it works. Oh, this is something that was in the final version. The secret entrance. Wait a minute, what? This is the side entrance game! Why did you put a base here?
Who goes there?
Great! So we're not going to be getting out that way. We have to use a moss arrow or something to get out of here. That's not good, game! That's an evil trick! I thought that was the way to get out of here! They lied to me! I'm gonna have to go around to deal with the drunk guard, since we've yet to take him out. But luckily for me, dealt with most of the guards in this mission, except for the scary new guards, which I'm still nervous about because, well, the guards I haven't had to deal with! And apparently that's how you're going to have to exit this mission, which I'm surprised at, because we got an extra vase we didn't get before. I'm curious if we'll see like a stat screen after and see how much loot we can get in this mission. Be interesting to see if I get all the loot in this version or not. I'm unsure. I have no idea what the loot value is. Get the loot here. After all, I'm getting all the loot I do know about from the final version of Wood Baffords. And of course, if I blunder across any loot that just happens to be an obvious sight. As you see, we do not have the entrance out of here. Interesting. That makes things a bit different, doesn't it? I'm quite surprised at that too. They kind of ambushed me with that one. Yeah, I'm going to have to figure out how to get over there. AKA, I'm pretty much doomed, ain't I? All because I wasted my flash bombs thinking, I'll use all my flash bombs in a carefree manner. Not realizing that this would happen. That, you know, I'd have guards to contend with right bloody there. If any change to the level, you decide to do that? That's cruel, game. It should make things interesting now. What was last time? That was this. That was this. Aha. Okay, shoot a moss arrow. Trusty moss arrow, do your business. Oh yeah, this should be interesting.
Hey! Someone there? Who is that?
Gotcha! So there is 3 guards. They apparently don't have their bear pits conversation. And apparently you do need to knock them out in order to get out of here. Unless, of course, there isn't a switch. Interesting, there's no switch. How is Scared supposed to get out? Trying to transmigrate to this. I was able to get through there almost. I wasn't able to, like, reach the switch, but there's no switch now. So we just knocked out 3 guards in here for nothing. Well, this was a complete waste of time. But yeah, we can't get outside the manor in this one. That means a few missing pieces of gold this time around. Shame. We will never be able to cut you down, Tapestries. I want out. How does one get out of the mansion to this mission? What's the route out of here? That means both ways that I know of are blocked off. Interesting. Is it going to be like you grab the scepter and they're going to tell you that's like mission over? That confuses me because this is expert. They say get back to city streets, right? Return to the city streets. How does one return to city streets in this mission? The map is a lie. Great. That's all I needed. A map which lies to me. And, well, stuff that was not in the final game. Basically, the game decided to troll me here. That's all we needed. The game deciding to troll me. In the worst area possible.
I wonder if he reads them or if it's just for show.
Alright, papyrus. That papyrus seems pretty much the same. But I'm really just skimming them, so could be missing something. That's my loot objective right there. That seems about right. That's 808 loot. As I said, the loot count is going to be different from the final version of Wood Baffords due to, well, the fact that we couldn't get into certain areas. So, I'm definitely curious to see how this makes the loot count different at the end of the mission. If we'll actually even get to see the loot count, or if it's just going to tell us, you've completed the game or something, and you're not going to be able to finish this. It's like I said, I don't know how on earth we're supposed to get around the whole, you know. See, grab 700 loot has already been taken, so now let's just grab the scepter with as little knowledge as possible. You know, I made a bunch of notice just to waste the gas arrow, just to show off the gas mine. Just to say I had one. This is what happens when you get freedom to a new tool. You waste it completely. Just like I wasted that moss arrow, too. I ended up just using it to blind tank those 3 guards. Because, well, they changed their position. Well, because we couldn't otherwise get to them. That's probably why they did it. So all this will apparently be somewhat similar. Which is probably convenient for us because we need some sense of... I'm really curious of how they're going to end the mission, because look at this. Isn't there supposed to be like an open window here? And that's not open. All these are closed windows when in the final game they're open. That's interesting. Okay, so we're at 1,006 loot. Not that it really matters when, well, I don't even know if we're going to get a stat screen that will tell us how much loot we could have gotten in this mission. I'm hoping they'll give us a stat screen. Really, really hoping. There's all that. Let's check out this area and see what there is to see. Scepter guard. Where are you going to be facing? Are you turning towards me or away from me? Gotcha. Alright, that'll make my life a lot easier. There's the gongs. Good rope arrow on my way out of here, as you see. I wonder if it's going to have something weird to do, like with a rope arrow. AKA the reason why we have rope arrows in this version. Bathtub. There is, of course, pretty empty as always. Now we have the long staircase to counter room. Apparently still exists in this version. Surprisingly. Like I said, I'm still curious how exactly, what exactly is going to be considered city streets. Because, well, I'm not exactly sure how this is going to work. And here is all that. That document's still there. And the 1,056 loot. So yeah, we're going to have like a little bit missing, but it's still pretty close to that 1,400 or so. Not too bad, especially since we got that extra base. Like I said, it's convenient when you know all the loot is in this mission that you can start looking around and trying to figure out what's different. And Lord Baffert's that type of mission where you're most likely going to know where everything is. If you haven't played it so often. I think 1229 is going to be the total loot of this mission. If, you know, we have a total loot value, it's probably going to be 1229. Not sure. That's basically all the areas for loot in the final version of the game, and that's what I'm kind of going on. We did get the necklace from the Murfitts area, right? Yes, we did enter this room and whatnot. Yep, cut down the tapestry and get that. So all we have to do now is get the scepter, and then find out what on earth are we doing to leave this place? Because that sounds a bit different than before. Yay! to ring the gong.
It's a throne room. How pretentious can you get?
Must slash these tapestries for no apparent reason. Interesting. We can actually rope arrow up on these platforms. You know what? I'm gonna rope arrow up on these platforms. I don't care about rope bug. I don't care about anything, even though all these windows are blocked off. All I care about using the rope arrow to get up here. To check out this area I've never been able to get up on. Look! We're on top of Lord Bafford's throne room! Huzzah! Look at this. Something we were not able to do before. And we're just able to jump on top of his chair. Ah! Normally we couldn't sit in his throne chair. Now we can! Finally, one object I can chop off my bucket list. Okay, we gotta get up there so we can drop down again. But before I was able to get on a chair, if you notice. So I want to get on that throne chair. Because it's just something I know, complete waste of time. Totally waste of time, but I want to get on that throne. Ah, just dropped a little short. How'd I get it right the first time, and now it's like I can't. Rope arrow! Work with me! Aha! And now I'm on his throne! Bow to me, subjects! Ha 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 ha! What is it going to be? That's all boundabots? Or? Ah, fell off his throne. I was on his throne. Did I shoot up here? Nope, that would just cause the rope arrow to disappear. I'm just loving the fact that I can jump onto his throne. Like so. That there is just awesome. I'm on his throne! Even though the boundabots are so weird that it looks like I'm not on it. This is his throne. Alright, let's grab the scepter and see what we're doing next. Oh, okay, so that's all we had to do. We do that and they give us this. You played the demo, now play the game. Congratulations! You found the scepter! And the full version of Thief, you'd be about to win your first mission. Plus you get lots more missions, enemies, and thieves' tools. Plumb the depths of the lost city, or loot the crypts of the ancient bone horde. Shadow sinister creatures through the streets of the city, and liberate your partners in crime from the infamous Crycleft prison. Try this mission again. Choose different power-ups in your loadout. Try a loot goal from a higher difficulty level, or try a different strategy. Order today from Eidos Interactive's online store, or purchase at a retailer near you. And we again a picture of Thief the Dark Project. An interesting picture, not like Garrett shooting like an arrow or whatnot. Not like apparently what looks like a fire arrow, which is something that isn't on either of the bots' art. And we're also getting a few screenshots of the game, which is odd because some of them look rather different. The health bar in like the first image looks like the Haunted Cathedral, but well, the problem with the Return to Haunted Cathedral is that it has red crosses on it. And that's the only one where you even have a health bar. And it looks like Garrett shooting a zombie, but the zombie is getting like, it wasn't like shot with holy water or something, so it's a water splash effect. Either that or it's a weird water particle effect that's not in the final version of the game. The second one shows off basically the Lost City, but because it's Thief Gold, it's showing a Crayman. Something you do not see in the final version at all. The third one is pretty much Return to a Haunted Cathedral again. Apparently they were really featuring that level, weren't they? Where basically you see a few hammer haunts. And the fourth one is... what on earth is that place? I'm trying to figure out where that fourth picture would be. It's one of Ramirez's sergeants, which is an enemy that was supposed to appear in the game but never did. And yet, at the same time, it doesn't look like... It looks like outside on the streets, maybe? Somewhere? But yet there's like a barred off area, which is odd. Because I don't remember any type of bars like that in Assassins. Interesting. Okay. So, we just picked up the scepter, and it puffed in smoke! What a ripoff! Bedford's gonna get better quality scepters! And yeah, that was actually... We basically... we got 700 in loot and snuck into Lord Bedford's manor, but then we got an X over the steal the jeweled scepter as little notice as possible. And we didn't have to worry about not killing anyone or return to safe streets because of that. We found 1229 loot out of 1229. We got 4 out of 4 targets picked. And yeah, we took 27 minutes, 35 seconds. Knocked out 21 people, 1 airborne. Dealt 23 damage and took 4 damage. And healed 7 damage. And yeah, that seems... didn't kill anyone. So, all we could do now is replay. There would be a button to replay, but otherwise there's nothing else. And that's the demo for you. So yeah, Lord Bedford's Manor, quite interesting. We get a rip-off scepter apparently at the end of it. It looks like, you know, we're locked in the manor. And we get some interesting pictures. It's actually pretty good idea to return to the Haunted Cathedral because apparently that was featured a lot in this stuff in the demo. You know, all the stuff this was like the perfect time for doing the demo recording in my opinion. So, I shall see you all next time where we probably will do Assassins or who knows, maybe another Thief demo. But until then.